I'm a fan of the star we are.
What's up, everybody? I'm Super Cowboy.
And I'm Princess Angie, and you are tuned in to The Star We Are.
Hi, this is Jane Slater, and you are listening to The Star We Are.
Plugged in and switched on. This is The Star We Are, live.
Yay!
Hello, hello.
Hi, guys, and happy... What day is today? Oh, yeah, it's Thursday! We are off schedule. Happy Thursday, everyone. I hope you guys woke up in a great mood as I did, hearing about some big Cowboys news. Hint, hint. But as you guys know, we are The Star We Are. I am Slammin' Sammy.
I am Landry's Legend.
I'm your man, Jimmy J's here. As Sammy said, somebody new in the house. We got to talk about him. I'm excited to get into it. Ooh-wee, what a good show. Abnormally, we're on a Thursday, not a Tuesday. Changed up the week. Heard some news might be coming. Got the good news we all wanted. Had to plan a good show for it. And that's exactly what we got for you today.
Absolutely.
It's a good show for it, guys. How was your week since last week?
Good.
Cowboys look to be headed out to pasture after a 2024 off season, and look to be kind of making it happen again in 2025. But after, the draft and what happened last night, the mood has changed.
A lot. My excitement for this season is insanity.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
Now, right? Like, because I'll admit,
Yeah.
I was a little bit doom and gloom. Even after like the first day of the draft, I was like, okay, Tyler Brooker's going to be good, but what are we still going to do? Now, after the draft, the double dipping at running back, double dipping at DT, all the good stuff. Pickens, ooh, I'm pumped. I think we're a couple games better. We'll get into all the details and let you know exactly what we think and where we're at. So, Coach, I think we might have a kickoff, a little rundown that we definitely need to pull up here and get going. We're going to have some updates for you guys. Obviously, Jimmy will let you know. We'll go ahead and do that while we're on our kickoff. So our updates are just obviously keep a lookout for we might be able to kick off our fantasy football league this season. At the latest, it will be next season, but we're pushing to try to get it done this season. We'll keep you informed on that. Obviously, be looking out for the early season raffle, after OTAs and camp as we get in toward, preseason. We'll be doing the raffle with the Michael Irvin and the Emmitt Smith jersey. Hopefully they'll both be signed by then so we can raise a lot more for these kids and the youth and the charities that we're going to be working with. And we'll let you know all about that. So stay tuned. Follow us on all your socials. That's where you can get all the news. And then, of course, speaking of news, Sammy's going to have to tell us all about it. We'll have some news with Sammy. We'll get into it. And then right after she lets us know the info, we're going to see how shot we are in the culture room. The culture shotty. We only get one shot at this thing. Is he going to change the culture and do it for us? We're going to find out.
Good.
And then we gotta, I know sometimes you like to just lay out in the kiddie pool, just chill in the, shallow end, but we got to get into the deep waters, look at this depth chart, see how deep we really are, see how, sound we are at some positions, how bad we might be at other positions. We'll take a full look at it. Then we'll have halftime, remind you to fan responsibly, get your refreshments, get your drinks, get your snacks. We'll read some comments, and then we'll talk about this dynamic duo.
Never thought we'd say those words together. Anyways.
I was just going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. How long has it been since we said dynamic duo on this team?
Ooh, it's been a while.
We haven't had a dynamic duo in a minute. And so we'll talk about the one that we do have now. But then I know some might hate us for it, but we have to talk whether that one of these dynamic duo members, the new one, is going to be a dream or a nightmare when it's all said and done. I know we, hopefully the dream, obviously, but we have to propose both scenarios. We've got to do it, Cowboys Nation. We got to warn you. We got to keep you updated. We got to let you know what could go right, what could definitely go wrong. It's all up in the air right now. And then we'll take a look at some iconic looks, or we'll talk about some units. And Landry, do we have some units pulled up and some stuff ready for that, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've got it. I mean, I've got the visuals of at least 5 Dallas Cowboys looks through the years.
Perfect. And so y'all stick around with us. We'll just kind of.
There's a few others we can discuss too.
Right. And y'all can tell us some of your favorites. We'll kind of rank the ones that Landry's got for us to look at. Just kind of end the show on some fun. And then Sammy today will be giving us the 2-minute spiel. So I'm excited for that one. Y'all better stick around at the end of the show. Hear the young lady kill it.
No.
And speaking of young lady kill it, that is it for the updates. The young lady has some news to tell us all. So we're going to get right into it with Slammin' Sammy Says It All.
Take it away.
All right. Woo! All right. Well, football is coming close, but it's not close enough. So I don't have a lot of NFL news, but kind of traveled around a little bit. So if I mispronounce anything or say anything wrong, just know I tried.
Yeah, just tear up in the comments.
Yeah, go ahead. So first thing first, I just want to say, I already said it once, I'm going to say it again. Pickens to Dallas, amazing. But my news thing is it stunned the NFL. Like somebody said he got Luka, and that breaks my heart. But welcome to Dallas, Pickens. Keeping it close to Dallas. Different sport, Dallas hockey. Dallas Stars are actually in the second round of the Western Conference Final towards the Stanley Cup. They beat the Jets. The Winnipeg Jets in their first game last night, 3-2 via a hat trick, which gotta love that. But yes, so whoever wins out of this, I believe, will play either the Florida or the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that'll be a good competition. NBA. So this is probably my worst sport. Don't know what I'm saying, so bear with me. They are in their playoffs as well. This is the Western playoffs. Conference semifinals are currently going on. So Thunder and Nuggets are tied 1-1. They're going on their third game. The Timberwolves and the Warriors are going on game 2, which is tonight, I believe, with Warriors taking the lead so far. On the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers and the Pacers are going on game 3, with the Pacers being a lead 2-0, or 2-0. Sorry, not anyway. And then the other one on game 3 on that is the Knicks and the Celtics. And from what I've read, that was a crazy game. I know they ended up 90-91. Close, crazy game.
Well, so speaking of crazy game, and I'll chime in real quick, Sammy, is so in all of NBA history, there's been 10 games in the playoffs that a team has come back from a 20-point deficit. 4 of those 10 games have been this playoffs. 2 of those games were the Knicks against the Celtics in both of them. They came back from 20-point deficits in back-to-back games, and the Celtics are down 0-2 when the Celtics were pinned by a lot of people to win the whole thing this year. So
sure,
really surprising series, yeah.
But so how many games do they have? Won't this put a little fire under them and get them back, or is it almost too late?
People thought the first one might, where they gave up the first 20-point lead, and then they did it again.
So it's never too late, but they did lose their first 2 games at home. Now they have to go on the road. And so if they even lose one of those and end up 3-1, teams coming back from 3-1 in series is kind of rare. So it'll kind of feel over at that point. So yeah, they got to win.
Oh, gotcha. Well, good luck to them, I guess. I don't know. On to another sport. There's not a lot going on in baseball as far as I know. The Texas Rangers did lose today to the Boston Red Sox, which I did not want to bring up, but it is Dallas sports news or Texas news, so here we are. They lost 0-5. That's kind of brutal. But they play the Detroit Tigers tomorrow at Detroit, so hopefully all goes well for them. And last but not least, I decided I couldn't end on a loss like that. The UFL, the Arlington Renegades, are actually 3-3. The wins that they had, pretty significant. I like watching them when I have the time. But their next game is May 10th at Arlington. If any of you are able to make it, I will be high-key jealous, and I hope you enjoy. And
yeah, UFL, the only way
that's my news.
The only way to get live football right now.
Right.
Yeah. No joke. All right. Well, guys, everybody in the comments saying yo, saying hey, saying what's up, guys, saying who watches the NBA. Just like Sammy, we had a comment. Sam, they're with you. Who watches the NBA? I know a lot less people do nowadays. They say it's a dying sport. I don't know because I'm tuned into football all the time, which is exactly what we're about to get into, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pumped. Are we culture shot?
Mm-hmm.
Are we culture shot? I got to know.
No, are we getting a culture shot?
Oh, are we getting a culture shot? Yeah. That's right. So we've been culture shot. Yes. Now we're getting a shot of culture from Shotty. You only get one Shotty, right? Because what contract did Shotty get? Do we remember? Can anybody in the comments help us with that?
Gosh, you guys, that's not something I'm pulling off the top of my head. I'm only remembering being shocked when it was his name.
I put.
No doubt. So
I think Sam's looking it up for us.
I am. It's a
For sure.
4-year contract. Oh, but I don't have a price amount.
No, money's not really. What we're interested in is 4 years.
Yeah,
So
4 years.
here's where I'll start. I'll start. Sam, I know a lot of times we're like ladies first and we make you jump right in. I'm gonna jump right into the culture, and we'll save you this episode. We'll let you chime in. So because I'm ready to get right into it. So are we culture shock? Were we culture shock? Are we getting a shot of culture? What's been different? Well, let me just bring up hashtag fire the GM Jerry, right? We all remember it. We saw it. Fire the GM Jerry. You know, it's out there. We actually good friends with the guy who
the ringleader.
With the ringleader who stood
Yeah.
out there outside of the store in Frisco, Texas with his sign and got
They
the
got
media news
hats.
there and got on ESPN. And so, you know, we're good friends with that guy. Really cool. And it looks like, listen, I know we say that, oh, that kind of news doesn't get to the Joneses, but guys, what did it do? We saw the Joneses not go after a big name coach in the free agency. We said, you know what, we're going to hire in-house the guys that our players and our staff wants us to hire. Then we're going to let him go put together his perfect offensive line staff and build this thing with Eberflus and all his guys, right? So he let Schotty do it. Then we hear things of Schottenheimer saying, for the first big meeting for everyone, he brought in everyone, the cooks, the janitors, everybody, and said, this starts from the ground up. We don't win a Super Bowl. It takes everyone, which that's awesome, right? That's building. That's showing that you mean something. And then he said, hey, wherever you sat last year, get up and move. Or if this, you know, everybody come in for the first meeting and sit down, and he said, I want you to get up, move, sit somewhere else. He said, if you didn't win a Super Bowl last year, do different this year. You weren't good enough. You didn't do it right. Do something different. He started that mentality, right? And then we see it with our draft. We didn't go trade up for no name. We didn't even make a trade down. We stood pat, took BPA, and we're hit right on the money.
Stood pat and didn't worry about a wide receiver too, while the entirety of Cowboys Nation was screaming it with some kind of ace in your back pocket, or just knowledge that we're gonna feel that we don't need to draft him.
Don't right. That's and so with Schotty saying those things, we've got a comment here or a quote here. Well, you know, we'll talk about some of the stuff that these guys been saying and some of the different culture things, but we've got a quote here by a UDFA, right? A guy who didn't even get drafted, but all of a sudden he's out here saying, you know, they asked him, what do you want to prove in training camp? His answer, everybody wrong. Everybody. I'm coming after heads.
No, and if you haven't seen the clip, you should look it up. He has to make a point of looking directly at the media reporter, trying to think who's asking him a question. Everybody.
So, and what that means, what he means by everybody is every team who didn't pick me, every cornerback who said I wasn't good enough, every wide receiver on this team who thinks that their job ain't in danger. You know what I mean? He means everyone. He means everybody. He means everybody. So
everybody.
And it's that mentality. We hear Booker saying things like, oh, I want to see the love of football leave people's eyes. We hear the coaches talking about, we only want people in this building who love to play the game of football. If you don't love football, if you don't breathe, sleep, eat, wake up, die, dream, every football, we don't want you on this team. And we don't want you part of this roster. And so the culture they're building is.
And two of the guys they just drafted match that perfectly. There's your quote from Trayshawn Holden. There's your quote from Tyler Booker.
A bunch of them
when you come to play against Tyler Booker.
From a hammer like Phil Maffa to a steadfast player like Jay Toya. I mean, I think we drafted all guys who just love to play this game. And so, listen, Donovan Ezeraku. Let me tell you what Easy's going to do for us this year. You think CD got a Robin, or you think there's Batman 1A, 1B? Wait till you see Micah and Easy. What that looks like when we're up 13 in games. So, culture, you guys happy with the culture? I'm happy with it. Let us know in the comments. What do you guys, are you guys happy? Do you think we're still culture shot? Are we getting a shot of some good culture? That's kind of our thoughts, our opinions.
I mean, everything that you're bringing to light, everything that you're mentioning is different from the past. And I was impressed with the way they orchestrated the offseason. Oh, that's right. I said earlier, the calculated aggression or selective aggression. Where they lied to us last year about going all in. Selective aggression was that worked out in the end.
Yeah. So yeah, selectively aggressive. Yeah, you're right. No, they did. And selective meaning Ted McMillan wasn't there. Well, we're not going to jump. We've got this trade that we're working on the back burner. We don't get the Ted. That's right. All the pieces we wanted, all the pieces we needed, double dipping at the positions of most importance, making a trade at the position of most importance, which a lot of people thought was wide receiver 2, and you add a wide receiver 1.
The idea that roster building is around the clock thing, and we just added George Pickens again, kind of Luka-like, right? First thing in the morning, in the middle of the night, just after seemingly all the dust is settled from free agency and the draft and so on. And so on.
And just real quick, I'm going to steal a little bit of Sammy's news here. Boom, boom. Just in case anybody thought we might still be looking at a Nick Chubb, Brees Hall, these other guys, some other names out there. James Slater has kind of put all of that to bed and said those guys' names really never had any traction. And so while I know some people are out there speculating that there might be a second move coming, we might want to pump the brakes on it. We'll see. We'll see. God says, I'm just worried about Pickens and his discipline issues. He's good. Well, buddy, you chose the right show to watch because we're going to dig all into it.
I have an opinion on that.
We're going to talk about the good and the bad, no doubt. No doubt about it. And so I believe, Coach, next on the list, we'll go ahead and get rolling right through to the next subject. And what do we have for the people?
Oh, we're going to take a look at the deep waters, a deep dive into the depth of the deep waters. I can't sing that. I think that's like some kind of sea fit. I can't sing that deep. That I have.
Oh, y'all want me to hit it real quick? Hold on.
And that's, by the way, that is rolling in the
No, I'm
deep.
just kidding.
Deep. That's something like that.
It's deep in the deep. I like what you did.
I love that.
Great graphic. So rolling in the deep. We're going to take a look here in just a second. Y'all can let us know, and you can go ahead and jump right in. What do we got here? Oh, Unknown Barber says maybe DeForest Buckner. Talking about the trade. I heard that name come up. I also seen that Jadeveon Clowney was just released.
All right. Okay.
Oh, today after one season.
So then we'll get it right up there. Here's the offensive depth chart. We'll start
there. We go.
We'll talk about what else do we need if it is still out there.
So we'll just go down the list. We'll kind of rank it.
I'm gonna call some of it out. No, we'll go right down the list. We'll start at quarterback. You like your quarterback, Dak Prescott, and I personally
do like him.
Think that Joe Milton III for what we paid is a nice option, a better option behind Dak than Cooper Rush. I know Coach believes Cooper Rush is right.
I just can't say better. I just can't say better because the backup record for Cooper Rush, like playing as a backup right now, looks better on history for, as far as on paper than Joe Milton. It's not saying that he's not. It's just I got to see him do it. I'm a show me guy anyway.
All right. So quarterback, possibly an improvement from last year. Certainly not a step back, assuming Dak Prescott can come back out, healthy off another injury. The running back room, completely. There are 0 names on there from last year. On that entire depth chart.
Well, in the first 4. So we do still have Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lupke. Those guys are still there. I believe even a Malik Davis. I'm not sure if he finally got released or cut. I think he might still be on the 90. Go ahead, Sam.
No, I think he did get released, but I don't know for sure. But
he may have.
How's Hunter Lupke going to make the team?
That's what I'm saying. You said there's no names on the roster from last year. There are 2, but I don't know. Like a Deuce Vaughn might stick around and be carried onto the 52 just because of who he is and where he comes from and what he means to this team and stuff. Even if he gets relegated to practice squad, he's not going anywhere. I know he definitely got it. But like you said, the names: Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa. Guys, let me tell you about Phil Maffa. This guy's a hammer, a true hammer. He reminds me.
Let me tell you about Jaden Blue. This guy is a true lightning.
Okay, well, what about Javonte Williams? I don't know him. I heard kind of blah.
So y'all let us know in the chat. Coach asked me actually earlier today who project the starting running backs right now. I think the share is going to Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue. That would be my real early on guess.
I said whoever takes the carries the first series is going to be what you would consider the starting running back, the one on that list. And Coach said that he thinks Javonte Williams will take the first carry and Jaden Blue could take the second carry. That Schottenheimer plans to be that disguised and that unpredictable and throwing multiple second and so forth. So I think it's a really tough ask.
So we got somebody says Milton is really raw. My boy Blue. So release. So Malik Davis is definitely released. 4.28 40-yard dash for Blue. That's true. Landry, somebody in chat was saying they could barely hear you. I think maybe just you were getting a little excited there. Maybe looked away from the mic, but I think we're good.
Hopefully not.
Getting pumped up. But hey, you know what? The new running back room, whether you're fully pumped up about it, listen, here's kind of how I put it to Landry. You added 4 running backs that you didn't have last year. 4 guys. You double dipped in free agency and you double dipped in the draft, and you built an offensive line to be good at running the ball. 2 of those 4 just got a hit. Like, I mean, just by playing the numbers, 2 of those running backs ought to be adequate behind this offensive line. So I think we've done something there. We'll move on to wide receiver. Obviously, we know who number 88 is in the house. We just brought in his ace, because I can't say his deuce. I can't say his number 2. We just brought in literally his other half. Like, I guess they're in a relationship now. They're married. It's CeeDee Lamb's other half. I don't know. I won't say better half yet, but TBD.
Yet.
Right. No, we're about to talk all about that. But you've watched, anybody watching the show's probably watched some NFL media today, so you know what we've added in the wide receiver room to what we did have. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Brooks, or CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert wasn't going to work as, roll into the season. And then CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, and it's Jalen Tolbert, and Jonathan Mingo. That was never going to work.
Right. And so right after CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, we were basically talking about, we got a competition for wide receiver 2 between Mingo, but now we're talking it's a competition for wide receiver 3. We know Turpin's not going anywhere because he's a Pro Bowl freaking punt return.
Amazing, yeah.
But he's not going anywhere because of that.
Yeah, he's making the roster.
He's going to be used in packages because he's lightning fast. Even with a Jaden Blue coming in, Turpin might still be the best guy on the team. So I'm sure they'll have some races. I can't wait to see that in OTAs and camp. Some Jaden Blue and Devontae Turpin races on the field. That'll be fun. But now we've got a really good battle at 3 with Trayshawn Holden, Jalen Brooks, Jonathan Mingo, Jalen Tolbert. I mean, that's a really good battle.
We have a battle for 3 through 5 and a pecking order battle.
Yeah. So all of a sudden you went from what if CD goes down? You got but virtually, I'm not discrediting these guys, but CD goes down, you're lacking in wide receiver. Now CD goes down, you still got a true number 1 right there ready to go. So it's good. It was a good pick for depth. It was a great pick for just in general. Hopefully we get him signed. We'll talk about all that later.
We won't talk about just the 2 of them in particular right now.
And then I'm going to tell you right now, Josh Kelly has some traits. Ryan Flournoy still has some promise. Our wide receiver room is all of a sudden full of depth. We just didn't have that true 2. We do now. Moving on to tight end, Jake Ferguson, Loon Schoonmaker, Brevin Spanford looks the exact same as last year.
This has no changes from last year, right? And the only thing I'm really going to say here is I need to hope that Loon Schoonmaker does a whole bunch more of that blocking in say 12 personnel, and that the idea that we're more spread out there with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, maybe that makes Jake Ferguson's life, better, and there's a bit of a resurgence there.
Right. And you know what? I think they're going to like their life a lot better. They're going to be asked to do some more dirty work, but I think they're going to like playing alongside each other. I think the tight end room is going to enjoy running the football and doing some of the things they're going to get to do this season. And then, Coach, you asked
Hunter Luepke listed as I just saw it listed as a true fullback there, and I don't think that was the case.
And I remember he was a really good special teams player. I don't know how much of a fullback we're going to use with a 12 personnel with Shoddy. We might. I mean, that's
what he is, especially in a crowded running back room. Now there's not room for you as a running back. There was, So.
And then we'll move to our O-line. And Sam, I got to ask you, because this is one of the biggest questions on the O-line. We'll start with the left side. Left side, strong side. Tyler Guyton. How confident are you that he's going to take an improvement and be what we need him to be this year?
Because he wasn't good last year. He grades, in the hundreds in left tackles. He has the most holding penalties, second most holding penalties.
Oof.
So I'm going to take it as rookie mistakes. He kind of had the same drive that Tyler Booker had in the beginning, but Tyler Booker has the more experience. He knows what to do on that field. I think Tyler Guyton's learning. I don't know if he's going to be exactly where we need him to be, but I highly 100% think he's going to be way different than he was last season.
And you expect that from almost anybody, especially with Tyler Guyton, who, like you talked about, he's played a lot less football than Tyler Booker.
Right.
Yeah. Right. No, for sure. And, Asim Richards, he did what he could when he came in. I mean, we played him, we used him. I'm glad he's kind of still there on the depth. It helps. Obviously, we go to our Pro Bowl left guard, Tyler Smith. I think the guy's great. Cooper Beebe, what he did as a rookie is really hard. I think only one rookie graded better than him, maybe 2. I think one rookie center for sure graded better than him, was according to PFF last year. But what Cooper Beebe did and the way he played as a rookie center in Dallas in a division, and especially a division that had 2 of the top 5 defensive lines in football last year with the Eagles and the Commanders. You know what I mean? Especially the Eagle. We know what their DTs are about, and Cooper Beebe had to face them twice and played adequate. Like what that kid did was great. Great guy, great family. Really happy with our center. Obviously, he's backed up by Dakota Shepley, so I don't know how deep that is, but Brock Hoffman also can play center because remember that's where the competition started.
And that's what I was going to get at. We know we feel good about our front line and with
the depth is good.
With 3 first-round picks, but even more so, the depth is. We just spent more picks. We also had free agent acquisitions to add depth. There's a lot there.
Yeah, no.
Brock Hoffman and Robert Jones both could have been starters on our team this year.
Yeah.
Until we drafted Tyler. Right, until we drafted Tyler Booker and and moved some things around. But
I believe that. And so then Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele, and after that, like we were just talking, a lot of depth. Now it's interesting because I was telling Coach that I believe our best offensive line just might be as good as we know Brock Hoffman has been at guard for us at times. Our best offensive line might be Tyler Smith, left tackle, Tyler Booker, left guard, Cooper Beebe, Brock Hoffman, Terrence Steele. It just, but we'll see what they do with it. We'll see where they go. Obviously, when you spend the first round on Tyler Guyton to be left tackle, probably going to leave him there for a couple years. So, but we'll move down the list here on the defense, other side of the ball, my favorite side of the ball. Dante Fowler Jr. obviously come in.
Good.
If he holds the job against Easy, because that might flip before the season starts.
You stole it from my mouth. I was going to say he's on the depth chart above Easy right now, but I don't think that's going to be forever. It's just going to be a good rotation. If we're up in a game and we can get after your passer, we just got guys that are going to do it and get it done.
It's just going to be a good rotation from both sides specifically because you look at the other side. Boy, now that one, again, that's the one that's got the ifs of the development from what we think we've seen so far and the staying healthy when it technically hasn't yet, but.
Peyton Turner again.
The Micah Marshawn Neal and Sam Williams one is.
Woo! I like that one.
That's insane. Like I said, Peyton Turner's a former first or second round draft pick. That we brought over from New Orleans. He has promise. We're going to try to turn him into something. Dante Fowler. I mean that room is loaded. What I'm worried about is stopping the run, which is where I'll move to the defensive tackles.
I was getting ready to ask you. I only know Mozzie. What are the other guys like?
So,
are they even?
First of all, I'm looking at what I'm thinking about is I read an article on ESPN earlier about the biggest position of need for each team, still like the biggest hole in the depth chart, and it was written today, so that's after the George Pickens trade, and it said cornerback. Most of that was based on, and we're kind of touch on it now, on Trey Diggs not necessarily being fully healthy and or Siobhan Rebel not being necessarily ready to go week 1. That was more, but 6 weeks into the season, that question should be fully answered. So I still put it on defensive tackle, and Sam, Mozzie's not the only one Also, Digazoo is tearing it up out there last year.
Yeah, we signed him.
No, I'm sorry. I was just talking about left, like his specific left defensive tackle, because I don't know Solomon or Jay or.
So Solomon Thomas is a former first-round pick of the Jets that we picked up in free agency, but he's definitely not lived up to that. So
Jay Toya, 5th or 6th round defensive tackle draft pick out of UCLA. Was it 7th?
This year?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Man, he's going to be a really good body. I'm telling you, he's one of those. I love to play football. I'm all motor. He's a put me in coach kind of player. So you like that? We'll see. So would we look at?
Yeah,
Clowney,
we need those guys to outperform. That's the unit that's got to outperform.
I don't know, Jeff. What does Clowney provide against the run? That's what I really want to know. If he's really adequate at run stopping, maybe. But as far as if we're bringing him in for a pass rusher, I think we're really good at pass rusher.
If every play looks like his, I'm going off the top of my head, 2014 SB play of the year. That was a run defense play when he blew that kid's helmet off.
Right. Yeah, and I think while Max got a point here, Clowney might want too much. While it might not be too much for some teams or for some people's opinion, I think it's too much for the additional value he's going to bring to, like I said, our already pretty well-rounded and rotational defensive line. Yeah. I don't what he's going to ask for. It's not worth it for us for sure. I think so. Right. But and Eric says he wants to see a ground force. Me too, man. That's what we were just talking about. The culture shot he's trying to build it. Me 3. Yeah, no doubt.
Entirely running back room, the whole thing. Yep.
So we'll move right along here. Defensive line looking okay. Maybe the defensive tackles can stop the run this year, and we'll be looking real good. Linebackers, guys. I know we're going to miss Demo for some weeks. Hopefully fewer than more. We'll see how many when it comes time. We still got Damone Clark back there. He's a veteran. He's
probably 8 to 10 in all reality. Probably
Oh,
at
yeah.
half a season.
It feels like it. It does.
Right.
It feels like
But he'll be
maybe
back.
next season.
He'll be back this year.
Lufau, Maurice, talk about it.
Beast, right?
Started to play. I mean, he started to have.
He's good.
He started to show excellent ability towards the end of last year. He was really ripping at balls and showing
Making plays, taking the ball away.
Certain type of linebacker mentality. It obviously has to get better. Has to take a leap, which typically that's what happens, right? It's not you're talking about how big a leap they're going to take. They're going to take a leap from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how big of a leap can you take, and he's going to be the crux of how good they are for the first 8 weeks.
He could be. Kenneth Murray Jr., a guy from Tennessee who we traded for, moved around some fifth and sixth round picks.
You know, I mean, I just haven't looked at the film.
So 4 full years, starting linebacker, plenty of snaps, over 100 tackles a year, I believe.
Didn't he play the most snaps for linebacker last year?
It was like 30th or something. Like it was a lot. It was about as many as you can play. Yeah, and he's done that for about 4 years over in Tennessee. And now listen, I'll tell you this: while they've had a bad team and he's been graded kind of low, he's been a Mike Vrabel guy. Mike Vrabel likes hard-nosed football players. And he's been their starting middle linebacker for 4 straight years and nobody took his job. That speaks for something in the NFL when you have a coach like Vrabel and you're the middle linebacker and nobody can take your job. So there's got to be something there for Kenneth Murray Jr. I've really got some really hope and promise for that guy and what Eberflus can do with him. Obviously, another former first-round pick. Another former high pick that's coming with Eberflus, Jack Sanborn. It's going to be you can look at the tape on Sanborn and look at the snaps he gives you, and you know exactly what the player is. He's never going to be more or less than that. He's a good rotational
use one of those
backer
in the linebacker room. Yeah,
he's a good rotational backer. That's just going to be what he is round the clock.
Until Overshown is back, it's not much. It's not much better than defensive tackle. It's still something. Which again,
right.
I'll get into that later at some point. The offense, we obviously felt a lot better about the offense than we do the defense, even though I don't feel bad at all about it.
No.
We'll give us one more draft. Let us go all defense next draft.
And speaking of defensive draft, a guy we moved up for, Shamar James. There's got to be some promise there. You end up moving up later in the draft for a guy, Shamar James, a guy we like a lot. Jay Tuck has him rated pretty good. Says there's a lot of capability there. A good guy to project with. Let's see. Thought you guys were on Tuesdays. Yeah, Eric, we had to move it to Thursday. The trade happened. We knew some stuff was coming up. We were going to go from Tuesday to Wednesday. Then the trade happened, push it to Thursday, so we could give you guys
Tuesday just a scheduling conflict, and then the Pickens trade.
Yeah.
The entire DB room is unchanged. You know, the addition of Siobhan Rebel.
Yeah. Well.
So I feel as good as I did last year. Boy, if they're all on the field, they're real good DBs.
I think we've done some things there. I think what we did is, first off, Siobhan Rebel in the 3rd round was my favorite pick of this draft.
For me, Kyrie Elam is there until both of those players are healthy. Once Trey Diggs and Siobhan Rebel are healthy, I don't think you see Kyrie Elam much. Kyrie
Elam was replacing a Jordan Lewis body who you knew you just lost, that you had to try to do something with immediately. So that's what that was for me. He may see the field in some situations, and he definitely will with injury. If Diggs doesn't come back early, you'll see some Kyrie Elam play. But this guy, Siobhan Rebel, is coming to take some people's jobs, y'all. And I'm going to tell you right now, I love Diggs. I like Bland. If this kid gets healthy and gets to play and start some games, do not be surprised by week 12, 13, 14, 15 if people are going as Siobhan Rebel the best corner on this team. Dude is that good. He's a first-round talent that fell to the 3rd round due to playing in a smaller school and an injury. The dude could have went into the draft last year before going to college this year and catching an injury. So, no.
We're going to need Trey Diggs also for a playoff run, but no,
we will.
I like.
No, we'll need the depth, but yeah, Rebel is my favorite pick of this draft.
DB room is fine.
It's really good. Safeties, that hasn't changed much. We got all our guys. We brought Wanye back, brought in some UDFAs that I like, a Zion Childress from Syracuse, I believe it is. Still got Dono, still got Mook, still got Bell. So,
and since we're running a few minutes past where we're normally halftime, I think we're in extra time here. Before halftime, I've been watching a lot of Premier League soccer.
We're running. We're running into some extra time. So, but that's basically it.
Yeah, special teams still the same, still the best.
All the same stuff. So, overall, if you felt like we lost a lot of pieces, the DeMarcus Lawrence, the Jay Lews, the running backs, the whatever you thought we lost, you can look at this roster overall. It's a roster ready to win football games.
We retooled it up. Mm-hmm.
It's ready to win football games. It's a different roster,
but we retooled it up for sure.
We did that.
Listen, coach.
Yeah, Izzy also. Yeah, that's why I said Mook. I call him Mook. Mukuamu, Israel. Some people
you
call
know,
him Izzy. I call him Mook.
I want to say something that I kind of find funny about him. When we were at training camp, I don't know if you guys remember, I brought them gloves and he signed it and he said, I don't think it's going to stick. And I said, oh, it's going to stick. All right. And he laughed. And now look who's sticking to the Cowboys. Boom. I've been thinking about that. Like that glove is one of my treasured items. Yeah.
She did that like it was just, I love it. I love it.
I loved it myself.
Yeah.
All
right. So we'll roll right along here. Moving right along. We've got to do this, guys. Halftime. I got to let you know.
Jimmy, I can't hear you at all. I'm so sorry.
What? We're getting no volume?
You just try to talk over the first few seconds of the music.
Oh, did I? I'm so sorry, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me now, I'm going to teach you how to not do what I just did and fan responsibly. How can I do that, Jimmy? Well, you can like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, tune into all the Star We Are stuff that we do all over all your social medias. Check us out on Twitter. Check out the charity stuff that we've done in the past, the charity stuff that we got coming up, the player interviews that we have on YouTube. Check it all out. The interviews with Jane Slater, Cowboys Cave, all the special guests, Knicks. We have a lot of fun. We do it. Take a look at some of the pictures of Landry and I making a full of ourselves cosplaying. It's Jimmy Johnson and Tom Landry, and it's for fans by fans. It's what we do. You can fan responsibly. Have a happy halftime. Thank you guys for being with us today. So I hope you enjoyed your halftime like I did. I'm going to get me a sip. Okay. You guys do it yourself.
Yeah, get yourself a sip. Me too. We covered the deep waters, and now let's get into the serious business.
Do we have to though?
Like you want to?
All right, let's do it. Let's go. Well, Pickens of the litter. Oh, we do Sam? Let's get her back. We had a little camera flip there. But yeah, so Pickens of the litter, the dynamic duo, the George Pickens trades. We know it happened. Guys in the comments, let us know how you feel. Go ahead and get us on an A to F scale. Where you rating this?
No. Where is Samantha?
Yeah, did we just lose her completely? We'll see. She'll be back. All right. Something may have happened. Maybe she powered down or something. So let us know where you're at. A to F. Let us know in the comments. How do you grade this trade? What do you think it feels like? Pickens of the litter. Super move. Love it. Did I not call it? You did, and you actually did call it. On the show, you said GP when we were asking who are you guys wanting to trade for? What are we going to do? The man did call it. A+ trade for Steven. A+ trade for Eric. A+ trade for D.
Less.
I mean, listen, when you trade for a 3rd round pick for a 1st round talent and a number 1 receiver to put next to a number 1 receiver
who's 24 1 month ago, how does he look there in the Cowboys uniform though?
Another A+. It looks good. It looks natural.
On the graphics team.
It looks natural, and by team he means Landry. He's kissing his own. No, good stuff. I love it. One year rookie deal needs to show. Yeah, he's on his last year. No, for sure. And that's one of the things we'll talk about. Hopefully they get that done sooner than later, and we don't even have to look at him, thinking about becoming a free agent. So, but A+ is across the board. Eric Fox says Super Bowl because of this trade.
To be fair, we have up there that the Cowboys get George Pickens and the Steelers get a 3rd round pick. They also got a little more accommodation than that. You said that we swapped 5th and 7th or something.
It was, yeah. So it was a 3rd round pick and then a 2027 6th for 7th. So I think we moved down. It was either 5th for 6th or 6th for 7th. We took their 7th, gave them a 6th, or we took their 6th, gave them a 5th, one or the other. But yeah, a little swap down in 27, no big deal. We always recoup those due to compensatory picks and so on and so, so not really losing anything there. That's just kind of them saying, give us a little extra sugar on the top, give us a little whipped cream. Just go swap us a little pick there. I think he challenges Lamb to be more of a dog out there. Well, look, them challenging each other is going to be fun. It could be fun or it could be problematic.
Something I said earlier, Jeff, that I think, the one thing I haven't heard yet is that George Pickens, I think, is going to walk out on the practice field like, y'all think this guy's better than me, don't you?
Right.
And I mean, I'll let you speak. We watched another interview earlier. Keep Talib.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I was just checking with Sam there, making sure she was good. I think we've got her back here in just a second.
Perfect.
We can get her back in. Boom, there she is.
Sorry,
Yeah, no. So
power shut off like out of nowhere.
It was straight.
We assumed. Yeah. So Jeff says exactly on that. He says we got Pickens for 2027. They got 2026 third and 2027 fifth. Right. Yeah. 2026 the fifth and sixth.
And this is literally just because all I heard was via coach that we got that the George Pickens trade was done. I didn't even look into it since then. They told me third round George Pickens, and I said yes.
Right. And so what you were asking me about when you hear guys like Michael Irvin say things like there's very few athletes who have donned a football uniform that can make some of the plays this kid can make. And then you hear cornerbacks like Aqib Talib, very highly respected cornerback, a Pro Bowler that says, I'm going to tell you right now in the NFL, the top three receivers go Jetta Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and George Pickens. Like that's what he says on I believe it was the Up and Adam show, or it was one of these podcasts or something. And like, those things speak volumes. We said we definitely drafted a number 2. Well, no, we didn't, or traded for number 2. No, we filled our wide receiver 2 spot with a wide receiver 1. Like a good, nobody's Dez to me. Dez Bryant is my freaking guy. I think he is that for a lot of us. But this guy has Dez ability. He's got jump ability, catch ability, dog ability, all of it.
A career average of 16.3 yards per reception.
So I just want to share what I grokked earlier about him too, being comparable to Terrell Owens. Like I thought that was a great example, and hopefully he can live up to that name. Quick question:
do you think as physical as Terrell Owens? I don't know if I love that from Grok though. I just don't know if he's as physical as Terrell Owens.
I think they just might be like same size and weight, and so Grok like looks at things like that.
But who knows? But go ahead.
Do you think is George Pickens going to keep 14, or is he going to go back to 3? Because I noticed Twitter it's GP3, but he was 14 with Steelers.
He probably created that Twitter account when he was at Georgia.
Probably, but
do you
know
think
what?
He'd want to go
Cooks
back?
Was 3.
Right.
Cooks
so
was
3
3,
is
right?
Open, and Marquise Bell has 14. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to stick.
Someone does have 14. See?
Yeah.
We were thinking.
You heard it here first. He'll be number 3. I mean, it sounds like it because listen, our team is letting guys pick. We got 0 on the team now. We're just letting people switch numbers. So yeah.
Well deserved 0 though. Woo!
But why not last year? Oh, gosh. Anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
No.
We're gonna have to move on to that. Take what we can get from Joneses.
174 receptions, 2,841 yards, and 12 TDs in 3 years. The first 2 numbers are real good. The 12 TDs are low. He hasn't had a quarterback. Well,
that's a red zone. That's been a red zone deficient team. You go look at the Steelers' red zone numbers in the last 5 years, not just 3 since before Pickens. They're just a red zone deficient team.
Last year in particular, 0 touchdowns by receivers in the red zone. Only 10 touchdowns by receivers total. So how many was he supposed to catch?
Right. No. Well, here's the thing. You can say, oh, well, how come he wasn't getting open and catching jump balls? Because once they got to the red zone, they were just like, put 2 on George. Take that away. If you look at the guys who did catch the touchdowns it'll be Pat Fairmouth. You know what I mean? Like,
no, he caught them all. He caught every one of their red zone touchdowns.
So there you go. So so we got a question here. How about Dak? Will think he'll be stronger after the pass injuries? I think he won't run as much. I think the coaching staff move that we made and the moves that we've made to be a run first team and build that philosophy is going to be good for Dak because he is going to be less mobile. Right. We're going to need play action pocket passing Dak. So
for the next 3 to 5, if that's how long he's around.
That breaks my heart because we just got Dak running again, like running good, running the ball, and then like I'm butthurt AF about that.
More on the hype of George Pickens. Not only is it a number 2, but a high at number 2. At the highest end of number 2. Theoretically, you can argue with anybody that it's the best 1-2. Immediately, you can argue.
You can. It's got to,
But most importantly, what it does to some other teams. Let's look at a random team that I picked out, a team that we're going to play. I was talking earlier about we've got a cornerback injured. If we play a team with either one of their top 2 cornerbacks injured, most teams are going to be in a world of hurt. The Washington Commanders' top cornerback is Marshawn Lattimore. He's an oft-injured quarterback. If he's injured, you're talking about Mike Sandustil and Noah Benahe guarding CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.
Right.
That don't work.
No. Again,
whereas previously, if they got to Noah Benahe and somebody and some safety got to double CeeDee Lamb, then Mike Sandustil can cover Jalen Tolbert. They'll get around. But you're not getting around this.
No, exactly. And don't take it from us. I'll quote somebody else, Emmanuel Acho, a former football player, who says, I think what this does is makes the Cowboys one of the most balanced offenses in the NFL. And what that does for Shoddy and team is say, okay, what do you take away? They run the ball with a mix of running backs to where no matter which back they put there, the runs don't look different, whether it's Blue or Sanders or Javonte Williams.
They keep sending out fresh running backs and everyone's carrying it 12 times.
Right. It doesn't. It's not like, oh, we see Zeke out there, it's going to be this run. We see Pollard out there, it's going to look like this. That's not going to look like that. No matter what back's out there, the run game will be.
They can all.
So that's disguised. Then you've got a pass catching tight end in Jake Ferguson and 2 number ones. So you literally have become like what Philly was doing to teams. Who do you guard?
And
what do you do?
And you have bullies up front, 3 first-round draft picks.
Right. You have to put something in the box or you will get thrown around. Yep. So it's
not
balanced
the
offense.
First-round draft picks immediately equals success. I don't want to go that. All right, Lee, want to take a look at him? I forgot we even had some media.
Yes.
What we got some what?
Some Weedia. Get it? Win.
Woo!
Yes!
The wheels.
God, it's so nice knowing I can cheer for him now that he's not a Steeler. Ha!
Nice catch over the middle, contested.
I mean, you're going to see that he's a vertical threat, that he's got excellent body control.
No, with the body control, and listen, the last one too, wait till we get to it. He's good on end arounds. He can disguise him. He's a playmaker. Good with the ball on his hands. Jump catch.
That's an excellent catch. Wow.
This body control, I know it doesn't look like much on that one, but the patience and control it takes to do this.
You said the way he lets his body go ragdoll and limp.
His body goes weightless.
Slow his momentum almost.
And then look at him plant his feet just inside the line. That is insane.
You guys, I'm so hyped. This is not good for me to watch. Like, I want it now.
But
yeah.
George Pickens is a good receiver. He's better than
he is.
The Cowboys got a better receiver than Jalen Tolbert. No, and I could pull out some of those stats. He's 70% more. He's got each of his seasons is what Jalen Tolbert's career has been. They've each been in the NFL. They've each been in the NFL for 3 years, and that's who you were looking at as your wide receiver too, right? They were drafted in the same year, 40 picks apart from each other. George Pickens was 44. Jalen Tolbert was 88 or something like that, right?
No.
Oh, ironic.
one round apart from each other, these two receivers were picked. They haven't had anything near those careers thus far.
Well, so
this guy's been doing it with no quarterback.
Well, we can't say no quarterback. It's been Mason Rudolph. It's been Kenny Pickett. It's been Russell Wilson. It's been Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, right. So no quarterback. No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah. He's a good margin better than what Brandon Cooks gave us in his best year, in the first year where he gave us 650 yards and he did give us, I think, 9 touchdowns that season.
Brandon Cooks was a hard worker and a consummate pro. George Pickens is a God-blessed, talented wide receiver. There's a world of difference.
Who's still on his rookie contract and not in his 11th season. So
correct.
Brandon Cooks was a move. This is a much splashier one.
Well, then, Coach, we got to talk about the good and the bad. And it sounds like what you're telling me to segue right to this next segment is that George Pickens is going to be a dream, a straight dream come true.
George Pickens is going to be a dream, and I'm going to lay out the dream scenario for you. George Pickens walks in the door, and somewhere in the next month or two before training camp begins, maybe we have to do something with CD or with Micah first to be able to develop the money. I'm not sure exactly how the salary cap works. I heard it was fake, so we extend George Pickens 3 years, $80 million. It's something realistic. It's $27 million a year. It might get it done versus I think T. Higgins just signed a contract for about $30 million a year. So you extend him immediately. He comes in the door and you see the end of the attitude era because he gets to work with a Pro Bowl level quarterback who's played at an MVP caliber before, right? And then all of a sudden, I guess I just have to have faith that he comes in and he turns into George Michael Pickens and everything goes the other way. He sees CD's gotten his money, and we don't think that's going to be an inhibitance for Pickens to get targets now. Maybe some kind of an off-field thing grows between the two of those, and CD's able to, to lead him into the Cowboy way. all of that leads to improved production. He's got to continue leading the league in yards per catch, which he's done the last 2 years. He needs to see a 10 to 15% increase in target completion percentage. He's at about 60% of the balls he catches, so that's not going to be enough. He needs to see an increase in TDs. That's I've already kind of mentioned that's one of the knocks there. He doesn't have a lot of touchdowns. Pittsburgh didn't score a lot of touchdowns, specifically in the red zone. If he scores, he's got to score from 30 yards away. I don't know exactly what it takes for him to be a perfect scheme fit. He seems like a nice complementary receiver in terms of size and the skills that he has and what he can do. So we'll just say he's a perfect scheme fit, and the result of all this is that he comes to Dallas, turns him into a top 5 offense. And if the results don't come, that being some NFC championship or Super Bowl immediately this year, but you see what you've created with the offense, then you load up on defense, and he's able to help deliver a Super Bowl to Dallas by the end of that 3-year extension via some game-changing and impact plays in the playoffs. You buying it?
Whoo! That sounds like a dream I could fall asleep to and have happily tonight.
Yeah, but all I had to say, all I had to do, I could have said blah, blah, blah for 2 minutes, ends in a Super Bowl for Dallas, and everybody on this stream would have been in.
You did say end in Super Bowl. Well, so you laid out the dream. I don't want to be a bad guy, but Coach, I've got to do it. If we're dreaming, sometimes when you dream, you just might have a nightmare. You just might have a nightmare. And while dreams come true, you have to be prepared for nightmares to come true. And so, well, I'm just saying, did we just get the Pittsburgh poison? What if Georgie Porgy brings the wrong noise in? What then? What if he doesn't fit in as one of the boys then? What then? Right? What if we're on the attack and Dak throws him an over-the-shoulder pass and he doesn't look back because they're not on the same page, but at the end of the game, he blames Dak? What then? What if he's a diva? I mean, what if he wants more of a meal ticket than the Joneses can fill and he doesn't get a deal, so he squeals until he becomes a fifth wheel? What then? I mean, what if we end up sickened by Pickens because all the promises didn't stick and we end up with a 1-year rental for a 3rd-round pick? What then? What then, Coach?
Impressive.
That's what I got to know. I got to bring the nightmare scenario.
That was impressive.
What if it happens?
Well, the problem is that it's a realistic scenario because we don't have a highlight video for this. Thought about having it, but there's video after video of him having near meltdowns over just bad throws and stuff, just for singular plays. Now maybe there are things coming to a head over week after week, but he's known to be this guy. That's why I say the dream scenario has to involve this doesn't happen. This is the head of that whole thing.
No doubt. So Sam, where are you at? You more with the dream? You on the nightmare? Where are you leaning? Were you able to?
So
it looks like the nightmare. It looks like Evers woke up having nightmares about what I was talking about.
Hey, I need that notebook, dude. You're taking my 2 minutes still. He just ran away with my notebook, guys.
You can't catch me.
Oh God, here we go. Okay,
back on subject. Talk about technical difficulties. I love it.
No kidding. He took the pencil with the grip and everything. So dream and a nightmare. I think the playing abilities will be a dream. I think that he has a clean slate, clean team. Nobody knows who he is. I mean, well, let me fix that. We know who he is and what he's capable of, but he hasn't had the opportunity with us yet. And I think he's excited to be here. He's excited to get this opportunity. He's excited to play with CD, who he has a previous relationship with. Like, they're bros. They want to win together. They want to play together. Here we are.
Yeah.
The nightmare about him being drama. So I think we need it. Like, I don't think we need drama between the players. I mean, not necessarily, but I think that, you guys were talking about, we tweeted about Dez earlier and George Pickens, and I think that if George can put that fire on the field against the defenders instead of not us, oh my God, that spice is just what we need. The build up, the explosive, like.
Yes,
I'm excited.
The diva thing is there from the past, but also it's created from things we can solve. Like, number one, quarterback play. Number two, someone to take the load off of you. I mean,
hey, I need this. Yep.
Yeah. No doubt.
So I am
George Pickens.
I'm excited.
See you soon, buddy.
Dude, I want to scream at him and get his autograph early.
Here he goes.
George Pickens is donning a brand new unit. And speaking
Perfect.
of units, we got to talk about some of the most iconic, some of the best, some of the most flavorful. Coach, we got some units, and Sam, we might have to bring you right back in when we switch this. We'll see.
No problems. Iconic Dallas Cowboys uniforms.
Wow, let's take a look at some. So listen, I'm automatically going to say, I don't know why. I know it's actually kind of plain and basic. The one Dez is wearing is my stuff.
Oh, no, that's...
I
bought more. I'll say this: I bought more jerseys in that style than you can see. First of all, the one Dez is wearing is behind me.
Thanksgiving, right?
So that's that one. That's generally what they wear on Thanksgiving, except for what Troy's wearing down there. That's the 90s. That's a 90s Thanksgiving unit there. And I love them. They come in second for me, but they just can't be an everyday. The huge stars are flat, but they feel like they need to be reserved for a special situation.
I agree.
Listen, my favorite are the ice whites. I wish they'd wear those color rushes. I wish that was the home uniform.
The ice whites are the dark blue ones, right? Or do you like light blues?
The solid white ones that Trey Diggs is wearing there. The one that have the white pants, the white top, the white.
Okay, I thought you were talking about CDs because I don't like that one.
Yeah, no, that's the basic away unit, right? That CDs wearing there.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was called the Arctic, but I was like, wait a minute.
That's a basic home unit.
Yeah, I don't like it as much.
95 double stars, my stuff.
The double star, I'm telling you, it does stand out the most. It just can't be for every day, but it is awesome. They're huge.
Even better, Jake, or Kyle. I'm sorry, I said Jake. I don't know why. Even better, Kyle. We got a George Pickens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a similar player. That's what It's funny you say that because Sammy grokked it, and Grok compared him to T.O. Right?
Yep.
That's right. Now you probably see more of those away jerseys that Dak's wearing right in the middle there. You probably see the majority of those. They're really the ones that seem to be produced.
That's what you're gonna see people wearing at games. Yeah,
you see a lot of people wearing those at games. Even though for years, I was even almost on board. Like I had friends of mine almost convinced me like we can't play in the blue uniforms. Like I didn't know that was even a thing until I started watching games, and I was like,
we're not allowed.
It's like the Madden cars.
Oh no, yeah.
No, the blue uniforms are the silver helmets. I love.
So
regardless, I only have one dark blue. I like the other ones better.
Yeah. This is one of the few dark blue ones I have here, and it'll be coming down soon.
The white jersey with the silver pants, and then the kind of royal blue color that you see on the home uniforms, they really don't. They're not as tight as they should be. I'm telling you that color rush uniform might as well be the home uniform.
I don't know if it's a curse, Barber, but I do know that we have worn those in some of my most unlikable games so I will say that. I don't know if it's a curse, but there's something there.
I was referencing it without calling it a full-on curse.
It might be. I don't know. I think we may have just have an overall curse. Who knows? But
and then there's some other ones. Like I said, there's other ones out there that I don't have up here. You could look at Roger and stuff in the 70s. They're really just even more simplified color versions of what the current away and home uniforms are.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything out there that I missed? Does anybody in the chat have anything that?
While we're talking to the chat, I just want to say that not even being biased at all. I seriously think Cowboys have some of the best uniforms in the league. Like the color scheme, the design, and everything.
Yeah, sure.
Even without being a fan, I was always a huge fan of their uniforms.
No, that star is it's something.
Well, that's what's making it, because the color scheme is
beautiful.
Blue, white, silver. I mean, it's nice, but
it's not super flashy. It's not something turquoise like Jacksonville. Miami's got a super high contrasting color.
Right, orange, mint, blue. Yeah,
something that's loud. Yeah. It's not any of those things, but it's the prestige, I think, of the star carrying it.
And regardless of whichever uniform you guys like the most, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you're watching right here on YouTube right now, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit it, and definitely hit that like button for us. It's the most valuable thing you can do for us, and the cheapest thing you can do today probably is just on the little like button there. So do that for us. Make sure you subscribe. True to their brand, never changes. That is definitely true.
That's true. They haven't changed.
They better not.
And they won't. Especially, and here's the thing: it's almost inevitable that the Cowboys eventually at some point are going to win a Super Bowl, right? As soon as that happens with the history that we have, we're going to be back on top of the world in the NFL world for the next 15 years off that one Super Bowl. Like, you know, so it's this brand and this team is never going anywhere. And speaking of going places, guys, we got to do it. We got to go places. The show is officially coming to a close, and I see Sammy I'm not sure if she's getting ready for the 2 minutes spiel. I see her over there with the gloss.
She got the notes back. Okay.
See this? Yeah, like
the notes
I
back.
am ready. If I still butcher it, don't make fun of me, but I try. There's writing everywhere.
We won't at all. So
let's hear it.
I'm going to put you on the clock. We're going to get you switched over to the scene here. Let's get her fixed up. And, I got
no problems. That's just when she dropped.
All right, and let me see if I can get her soloed here. For some reason, it's tripping out on me. Boom. All right, Sammy, I'm starting the clock, and I will start the music, and you're on.
Okay, so here we go. First things first, the shoddy change. What has shoddy changed culturally? We talked about him signing a 4-year contract with us. We talked about the big difference he's already made in the season as it starts with the things he wants to change in the locker room to what he did during the team meeting of having the different players sit by each other, just kind of intertwining everybody, making the team more of a family. He talked about his love for football being very important to him for the players, which I am absolutely a fan of. Anyways, we went in depth and talked about the depth chart. We talked about our weak links and our strong points and our kind of moments. Wide receivers, definitely a big improvement. We're kind of evened out a little bit on where we are. We still have some weaknesses in defensive tackle and linebacker, but we're okay where we're at right now. Pickens and CD, I really like what Jimmy said. We filled our wide receiver 2, getting another wide receiver 1. Between all of us, I don't think there was very many bad things to say about him. He's a great addition. I can't wait to see what him and CD and everybody do together. We talked about the dream and the nightmare, how awesome he is as a player, what we can't wait to see him do. And then we talked about the negatives, the possibility of all the drama that might happen, that hopefully won't happen. And I am talking too fast because I'm almost done. This is gonna happen. And then last but not least, one of the best parts besides George Pickens is the lovely, beautiful Cowboys uniforms and our appreciation for all of them, the 90s jerseys, the Arctic whites, the beautiful Thanksgiving alternates.
Arctic white.
The list goes on. And that is my almost 2-minute spill because I talked too fast and killed it beforehand. Bam!
I love it. With time to spare, as they say, with time to spare. Sammy, good stuff. What a 2-minute spiel.
Beautiful,
what a show.
Beautiful.
I want to add it there. I was in college speech, high school, and had to give a 2-minute speech. And I killed it in 40 seconds. And I was like standing up there, didn't know what to say. So you see where that comes from.
Right. No, that's exactly
only about 20 here. So.
Because that's what the challenge is, right? When you take the speech class, the challenge is to basically, control the tempo. And because you've probably done it before and it was 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then I got up there and I was like, "Oh my God, there's 1 minute and 20 seconds
left." I like the 2 minutes, Phil. It's been fun. It's a challenge.
I love it.
For anybody that got in late, it lets them catch up. So what the show was, just in case they get excited about something and want to scroll back through and watch it. Which just a reminder to do that. Go scroll back through some of our own videos. We got Marshawn Nealon interview. We got Florida Gator Cameron Jackson interview. We got NFL analyst James Slater interview. We got the Cowboys Cave, Knicks, a bunch of nice guests. Of course, we got the very special Slam and Sammy, the very talented Landry's legend, the so likable Jimmy J's hair. I guess I don't know. Some people hate me, but I don't know. I don't know what they call me. I don't want to.
Get excited about George Pickens.
Oh boy,
we just ran our mouths for 20 minutes. Watch it again.
Definitely go watch that. George Pickens.
I mean, just on George Pickens.
Oh, well, that was a good show. And so, Sammy, since you did such a great job of getting us up out of there with the 2-minute spiel, I'm going to have Landry do it today. Landry, remind them what they always have to do.
Hey, man, you got to fan responsibly. I got to go in my Frank Mueller voice. Y'all fan responsibly. We're out of here.
How about this, Cowboys?
I'm a fan of the star we are.
What's up, everybody? I'm Super Cowboy.
And I'm Princess Angie, and you are tuned in to The Star We Are.
Hi, this is James Slater, and you are listening to The Star We Are.
Plugged in and switched on. This is The Star We Are, live.